Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in, man. Today is January the 12th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Bunch of games on the board for today. Not much of a recap, but we'll jump into a quick one, get into some comments, and we'll get the show on the road for today, man. Yesterday, one official play. I had some things on the short list, talked about not liking the slate a lot at all. It was a terrible slate, in my opinion. I like the dogs, the favorites covered for the most part. One official play ended up being something that we talked about on the show, which was pivoting away from DeAndre Ayton, who got ruled out, and just taking Klingen over his rebounds, and that was the winner yesterday. So 1-0 day for me yesterday. Klingen up and over 9.5 rebounds. He should have had about 15 if he was watching the game, but he did finish with 10. So nice little 1-0 day yesterday. Hopefully we can build off that momentum. I think 1-1-1 in my last 3 plays. So yeah, kind of looking to pick it up a little bit. Got not a lot of bets, but 4 bets that I've placed so far today already that I shared with the members overnight. So let's jump into it for today, man. Let's try to cash some tickets today. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's a cold Sunday, but it's a beautiful day to cash some bets. Let's jump into it. A couple comments. We'll jump right into it for today. Good morning, Tasha. Good morning, JoJo Betts. Frankie in here as always. Good morning. So she cashed last night with the Houston money line. They were getting 3 last night. Love to hear that. What up to my guy Justin? Hi man Binks is top of the morning. Got my pen and paper today. Let's win big. I did my homework. So here to share the homework with you guys, man. Ben says Ja Wick slayed the Wolves for me last night. Man, Ja was playing like trash. I watched that game in its entirety. Ja was playing like trash. Last 2 minutes, Ja either scored or assisted on every bucket. And the floater at the end of the game was wicked. Up and over 2 of the best defenders in the NBA between Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, man. Ja was like that last night, man. He definitely was. And I'm glad I saw a couple of my guys was on the Timberwolves yesterday. So I'm glad. Was on the Grizzlies. I'm glad they got the W last night. Justin says apologies. No need to apologize, Justin. We don't apologize. We're gonna win some, we're gonna lose some, but we probably gonna win more than we lose. So no need to apologize for the pit play yesterday. What's up to my guy Brian? Appreciate you for tapping in. Joe the Gambler in here with us as always. What up, Jacob? Says he getting it in at the gym this morning. Nah, never just got out of bed. I'm always working, Jacob. Good morning, Scott. Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, I'm trying to get through the comments. I'm not going to be able to. Mark in here with us as always. Peasy in here with us as always. Good morning, my guys. Good morning, LJ. Says let's cash. Yesterday had me drained. Yesterday it was terrible. Yesterday was terrible, man. I'm glad I didn't play but 1 bet. So glad I stayed away. And I said yesterday when we started the show, it was an ugly slate. I like the card for today, though. Good morning, Taylor. What up, Marquise? The usuals in here with us. Douglas says Grizz, Wolves, halftime, full-time was the winner. Glad you cashed that. What up, Brim? Real DJ X. And my guy Malik in here with us as always. Good morning, Isaiah, as well. Let's get into it for today, man. We I forgot what I even asked Jackson, but I did send a prompt to Jackson. Let's see what I asked Jackson. I got a lot of going on in my mind. All right, so I know what I asked Jackson. So Jackson is your sports AI companion. Jackson liked what did Jackson like yesterday? Jackson, I feel like it was a winner. I can't remember what it was though. It was oh no, Jackson picked the Atlanta game yesterday and it ended up being postponed because of the ice and snow that they got down there. So Jackson had a push yesterday because that game did not happen. But today I asked Jackson about the Knicks and the Bucks total. Specifically, wanted to see. I like the under. Want to see with Jackson align. So has a full breakdown for me with team trends and analysis, points scored for both teams, points allowed for both teams, recent form, last 5 game numbers as well. And it says that Knicks' recent struggles. The Knicks have lost 4 of their last 5 games, including a blowout. And I asked about the total. Okay. So Knicks have lost 4 of their last 5 games, including a blowout, 126-101 to the Thunder. Their offense has been inconsistent. They shoot just 13%. They shot just 13% from the three-point line in their last game. Despite their recent slump, the Knicks have been a solid defensive team this season, allowing just 110 5 points per game. Bucks momentum. The Bucks are on a 3-game winning streak and have won 6 of their last 10 games. They recently defeated the Magic 109-106 with Giannis Antetokounmpo scoring 41 points, Damian Lillard adding 29. The Milwaukee's defense has improved, allowing just 109.9 points per game over their last 10 contests. Head-to-head, the Knicks won the previous matchup 116-94 back on November the 8th. Karl-Anthony Towns led the Knicks with 32 points and 11 rebounds, while Giannis had 24 for the Bucks. The last 3 meetings between the teams have all gone under the total of 227.5. So recommendation, pick under 227.5. Both teams have shown strong defensive capabilities, while the Knicks allowed just 110 points per game, and the Bucks improving to 109 points per game allowed recently. The Knicks' recent offensive struggles combined with the Bucks' ability to slow down the game suggest a lower scoring affair. Historical trends have also favored the under, as the total has gone under in the last 3 meetings between the teams. So that was the simple prompt for the total. You can ask Jackson about the side. You can ask Jackson about the player props. You can ask Jackson about a specific player prop that you like, and it can give you analysis on that specifically as well. So, save some time for yourself, man. Whether you're capping NBA, NFL, college basketball, college football, Jackson got a little bit of it all. Soccer. If you don't speak English, or you want it in your primary language, you can also translate it to different languages. So you can use code ChrisBeCappinn 2P2 and sign up, and it'll get you 50% off whatever tier you sign up for. So let's jump into it for today, man. First game up, we got the Denver Nuggets, and I see a mistake already. We got the Denver Nuggets and the Dallas Mavericks. This line is now at 5.5 the last time I checked. Let's double check. Yeah, 5.5 total is moving up though. 229.5 is the new total. This total's on the move. When I did the graphics about an hour ago, this was 228, and then it went to 229. So I changed it, and now it's up to 229. So books are expecting points. I kind of really wanted to get there with the Nuggets team total to go over to get this thing started anyway. But let's jump into the matchup. So this line opened, I think, at 3, and then money quickly came in on Denver, pushed it to 3.5, 4. Then it got to 4.5, and I actually got in last night on 3.5 for the Denver Nuggets in this spot. So looking into the injury report, first and foremost, we got Aaron Gordon, who's already been ruled out. We got, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron Gordon is listed as questionable. I wrote that Aaron Gordon was out, so maybe I got to double check. One of my sources is wrong, but Aaron Gordon, I see him listed as questionable. Call him DeJounte Murray. Jamal Murray is listed as questionable also with some knee tightness. He didn't play in the second half of that game against Brooklyn. They didn't really need him the other day, but he did lead a game and didn't come back. Jokic is listed as probable. It'll be a second game back from after the illness. And then you got Luka, Kyrie, and Dante Exum all remaining out in this spot. So this is the third matchup between the two teams this season. Denver did win the first one at home. They beat the Dallas Mavericks by 2 points. I think it was 122-120. Dallas won the second game in Denver by 3. And the first game had Luka and Kyrie. The second game, Dallas actually went into Denver and beat them outright without Luka. Kyrie did play in the game. He had a big game. So now you got Denver. In my opinion, they've been playing a little bit better as of late. They play Dallas again on Tuesday, and they've won back-to-back games versus the Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets. I was looking into some advanced stuff last night, and last 10 games, the Denver Nuggets have actually been hooping, man. I just think that they can kind of keep it going. They're not a great road favorite. We know that. They're only 3-8 against the spread as a road favorite this season, but they do got back-to-back coverage. So more recent form said that the Nuggets have been playing a little bit better basketball. They did win and cover against the Jazz. They also won and covered against the Spurs in the last 2 road games. I think there's been some offensive effort and injection. I think what Westbrook is bringing to the lineup has really, really helped them since Aaron Gordon has left. And I think that's been contagious for the rest of the team. He should still be in the starting lineup. I'm expecting him to be in the starting lineup. I don't know if both Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray are going to play, but if Jamal Murray doesn't play, of course, in my opinion, you like under a little bit more. But I do think Denver can win this game by a few possessions here. So I did take the -3.5. This is up to 5.5 now. I didn't really look into player props. Dallas, specifically about them. They're still going to be shorthanded, but Spencer Dinwiddie, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively, not a pushover lineup at all. They will continue to play hard, but they have struggled. Outside of their 2 wins against the Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers, they're just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. And this is their 3rd straight home game for this team. So, this is not one where I think Denver is going to come into Dallas and absolutely smoke the team. But I think with revenge and having a much more complete roster, I'll take the Denver Nuggets here. So I laid the -3.5. Got there before the numbers started to move too much. And let's see. When I was looking at this last night, well, that's it. I'm trying not to talk too much on all these games, but yeah, I like Denver. I think Denver should be able to score the basketball. Dallas is probably going to struggle, in my opinion, to get stops. Like I said, it's really just about what Westbrook is doing. He's been kind of crushing it lately, man. Him and Jokic coming off a game where they both had a triple-double. So I like Denver. I took Denver in this spot. Laid the short 3.5 number. It's up to 5 now. All right, so those are my thoughts. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. What up, G421? What up, Andrew? Appreciate you for tapping in. That's what it was. Yeah, Mark, he says mine's the 5, and it ended up moving to 6, I think. So Jackson probably would have got a 1. We talked about 4.5 in the Discord yesterday. Jacob says I did play the under last night. I don't really have any strong thoughts on the total. This to me feels like a game where Denver probably comes out early and scores the basketball, and then it slows down in the second half, in my opinion. So not a total. I do got a couple totals that I did play, but this is not one of them that I played. What up, Chad? Says morning, guys. Almost made it on time. Okay. Jacob says he got under 228. It is. It's down to 220. Well, actually, it's going up. So market not agreeing with you here, Jacob. We'll see how fast the game is played. He says it opened at 2. He got -2 last night. All right, let's see. We got any other thoughts? Let's see. LJ says Jokic is averaging a triple-double on the road versus the West and averaging 2 steals as well. So think he has a big game against Lively. No way I could talk you off of Jokic. Jokic's been killing it lately. His points, rebounds, and assists, I think, is like 53.5, I think is what I saw the number at. I'm not talking anybody off for Jokic at all. Westbrook rebounds plus his assists, Brian says. I can see that. Nuggets -5.5, especially if Aaron Gordon plays. Joker gonna be blindfolded, making shots effortlessly. Klay Thompson needs to be traded. I think Klay will be all right once he get Kyrie and Luka back. His role will be more defined. Let's see. Jacob says PJ Washington over his 16.5 points, Lively over his 8.5 rebounds, and he likes Spencer Dinwiddie to get 6 assists. The Denver Chicken Nuggets. What up, Julio? Appreciate you for tapping in. Fahrenheit likes Jaden Hardy, I'm sorry, to go up and over 12 points and 2 threes in this spot. Somebody gonna have to score the basketball for him. I can see that. For the Knicks game. My fault, Jacob. Okay. Chad says 0 interest in this game. Denver laying points on the road. No. In Dallas, it's like 1 in 98 without Kyrie. Yeah. So that was one of the things that made me get there with Denver, though. Is like I said, they've been playing a little bit better last 10 games overall, and they've been playing a little bit better on the road. Because I'm looking at the game, I'm like, this line look a little suspicious, but I figured it would move on Denver. It's not the biggest play, not my biggest play on the board, but I did lay the points with Denver here, thinking that they could win the game with revenge. No Luka and Kyrie on the other side. But I got 3.5 though. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game up, we got a really good one, man. Bucks and Knicks. I think the line is moving now to 4.5. Yeah, it looks like 4.5 now. So you had a Knicks team that was getting 3. I think they did open at 3.5, I want to say. And now it's moved to 4.5. The Milwaukee Bucks getting 4.5 points on the road. Total looks like it came down from 228 to 227.5. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that's really how I feel about playing this one. So we'll get into a quick injury report. We got Gary Trent Jr. listed as questionable for the Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Lillard, Giannis, and Chris Middleton are all listed as probable. They should play in this game. And then for the Knicks, they should be a fully healthy roster outside of Mitchell Robinson. I did see that Deuce McBride is listed as probable in this game. So we know the Knicks, they've been getting smoked. Well, not getting smoked, but they did lose their last game to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Got smoked in that game, man. Just couldn't score the basketball. I think Bridges and OG combined to go like 0 for 13 or 12 or something like that from the three-point line. Mikal Bridges didn't even score a point for the full game. So you're going to get a motivated Knicks team, in my opinion, here. They've actually beaten the Bucks 3 straight times, including one time earlier this season. They beat the Bucks at Madison Square Garden, smoked them 116-94. Now, of course, this is before the Milwaukee Bucks were playing a lot better. They were laying 6.5 points in that spot as a home favorite. Now you got a Bucks team that's been playing a lot better basketball as of late. They got 3 straight wins after losing 2 in a row. Second straight road game for them. They just beat Milwaukee. Should have probably covered, but they didn't. Finished at a push on the early number. Did not cover that late number of, I think it was like 6.5 or 7. So now you got them, like I said, coming off a couple of good wins. The Knicks definitely looking to bounce back. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. The only win that they have in their last 5 came against Toronto. They lost, like I said, by 25 to OKC 2 nights ago. They were down by as many as 30 in that game, and it's the first leg of a back-to-back for them. They got the Detroit Pistons coming to town tomorrow. So I'm looking at a couple trends last night, and I'll just go through the side first before I jump into total, because I like the total a little bit more. I feel like this is a bit of a tricky game in my opinion. So you got a Bucks team that's just 3-7 against the spread versus teams with a 55% win percentage or better. So when the Bucks are playing good teams, they don't cover. The Knicks 8-5 against the spread when they're playing a team that has a 55% win percentage or better, but they've lost 3 straight against teams that have a 55% win percentage or better. They've lost to the Thunder twice and the Magic. All 3 games, opponents have pretty good opponents. They've lost all 3. The Knicks are also just 3-6 against the spread as a home favorite when they're laying less than double digits this season. They typically cover when they lay more than double digits, and you got a Bucks team that is 6-3 against the spread as a road dog this season. So this has been, a spot where you typically want to buy on the Bucks. When I was going through the beat writer stuff for the Knicks, a lot of it was about the bench, talking about how they've played 9 games. Over the last 9 games that they've played since Christmas, the bench is averaging 17 points per game in just 11 minutes a night. We know Tibbs run his players into the ground a lot. So with McBride being back in this game, that should help the Knicks bench a lot. It also talked about how that's the lowest in the league in each one of those categories. Every other team in the NBA is scoring more than 24 points per game from their bench. So Knicks relying a lot on their starters, man. I don't want to bet against the Knicks because they are coming off that bad bad loss, but the Bucks aren't necessarily fadeable in my opinion right now either. I know that they could start the game off a little slow coming off the win, and they've won a couple games in a row, which kind of makes me lean a little bit more towards the Knicks. But I think, full squad, I think Milwaukee can keep this game within 2 possessions. So I stayed off of the game. They got revenge. The Bucks got revenge. They're playing good basketball now. I kind of like under a little bit more than anything else. You got a Knicks team that's where my under notes. So Knicks 4-1 to the under since the start of last season when they're coming off a loss of 20 points or more. You got a Bucks team that's 7-2 to the under as road dogs this season. Bucks also, what else did I have on the total? I thought I had something else on the total. No. Those were the 2 strongest things that I had on the total. A lot of the other trends that I talked about for ATS also were under trends as well. So I kind of like under. The Bucks should be able to slow down the Knicks, in my opinion. The Knicks should be able to slow down the Bucks. Neither one of these teams play super fast at all. I think under 227 is probably the best play on the board. I did not add it to my card yet, but that's the way I'm kind of looking at this one. From a player prop perspective, we'll go over to Outlier really quickly. And I'm looking at Josh Hart in this spot. I think Josh Hart sets up to have a big game. So this is Outlier. There's a link in the description of the video for a 7-day free trial. If I play Josh Hart, it'd probably be everything, right? You just add his points, rebounds, and assists, combine them all together. You can see that on the full season, he's up and over the number in 55% of his games. I just kind of feel like in 3 straight as well. You can see the consistency here: 30, 37, 31, 41, 48, 41, 31, 39, 31. So he's gone up and over. This is what, 5, 6, 7, 8 of his last 10 games. I just feel like they're gonna need him in this spot. You're gonna need him to go down there and get rebounds. You're gonna need him to, knock down shots when Brunson penetrates and looks to dish. I think he's gonna be, try to be big on the offensive glass to get the team second chance points. If you look at Josh Hart specifically in his home games, the number goes from 55% to 67%. Him going up and over this 29.5 number. So Josh Hart is the way that if I was playing a player prop, the way that I would look in this one. I have not locked this in. You can get minus 102. You see the odds over here. But this is the way that I would look. Just thinking Josh Hart, can get a few offensive rebounds. I do think the Knicks are going to play with energy. To me, it feels like a Josh Hart type game. It also feels like a Jalen Brunson type game from a points perspective. But I'm not sure if I'll pull the trigger on either one of those. I kind of like under a little bit more than anything else. So just showing you guys my thought process on the game and specifically on that player prop with Josh Hart. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Let's see. Took the under, Joe says. He got it at 228. I like that. Like that a lot, Joe. I like the under too. Brum says Cat over his 2.5 threes. I can see that. He's probably going to get matched up against Brook Lopez. And I can see him bringing Brook Lopez out of the paint for sure. So that makes a ton of sense in my opinion. I want to quickly look at Karl-Anthony Towns' first matchup between these two teams. Cat had 32 and 11. He hit 4 of his 8 3-pointers in that game. So Karl-Anthony Towns up and over his 2.5 3-point makes a ton of sense in my opinion. I do like this from Brim in the comment section. Cat over 2.5 threes. I'm just writing some of these down. Today is the 12th. All right, Cat over his 2.5 threes. Like that look there. Chad says Knicks. Knicks money line for Jacob. He got a -4 and he liked the under. Cat 2 threes is the play of the day. So is it 2 or is it 3? Oh, Cat 2. Yeah, you got 2, but Brim got 2.5. So I got to check the number. Jacob also likes Dame and Mikal Bridges, both on their points. LJ says Giannis rebounds on the road versus the East is cash money. So look at Giannis here. What up, Lingowick? Says Knicks first half full game money line. And full game. I'm sorry, no money line. So thinking that the Knicks start early, I could see a Knicks early spot for sure. Could definitely see that. Jimmy says he's taking the Bucks on the alt line. I'm guessing that's supposed to be not +3.5, but -3.5. Andrew says he likes the Knicks. Good Knickerbocker. So some love for the Knicks. Mark says big spot for Knicks, -3 last night when he bet it. And he got Denver and New York in a little money line parlay as well. What up, Julio says, what's up, Chris? Appreciate you. You do especially this early. Appreciate all you do, especially early. I appreciate that, Julio. I like to get to the lines early, man, for sure. Joe got some trends here. He says since 2020, if you have a win percentage over 50% and lost 2 previous head-to-head matchups by 15 points or more, and your opponent lost their previous game by 15 or more, it's 18, 10, and 1 to the under. I like that, Joe. I like that a lot. I like under in this game, man. Let's see. Sound like a lot of people like the Knicks. Maybe it's Knicks team total under too. I'm not going to talk anybody off the spread if you like it. The Bucks team total is 112.5 right now over on Fanatics. It's the best number you could get. Looks like -111 is 111.5 is available everywhere else. Let's see. Julio likes the Knicks. Knicks should bounce back in this spot after the loss. The Bucks on the road is a fade for me. Also, Bridges had a horrible game, so I'm taking his over points, rebounds, assists. Yeah, he had a terrible game, man. All donuts. Watched Stephon Marbury talk about that last night. Knicks for Antonio. Knicks showing no interest in my opinion. Can't get my money right now, Charles says. I think they'll be fired up for this one, though. I kind of want to get there with Knicks, but like I said, the Bucks. Last time the Bucks were a road dog, and I know it's not the same magnitude type of game, but last time the Bucks were a road dog, they took my money. It was a cup game. They were listed as the dog against OKC, smoked OKC. So I stayed off the game, but I can understand the love for the Knicks here. Merrill likes Cat straight up on his points. Let's see. Julio throwing out some Purdue love in here. Giannis triple dub for Merrill. What up, John? Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Just happy to catch a live show, dishes and NBA breakdown. I like that, man. Taylor says half unit on Jalen, 3+ threes. Jalen Brunson, Bucks ranked 22nd versus the pick and roll ball handler, and ranked second in points in the paint off the pick. Off the pick, I think he will be forced to shoot threes. Over in 7 of his 11 games, top 10 versus top 10 teams in points allowed in the paint, and 15th or worse in 3 points allowed. So Taylor likes Brunson to hit some threes in this game. I can see that. Brunson has a really good matchup. I didn't even look into the matchup with Brunson, but I mean, he gets the easiest defenders. The Bucks front court defenders are a lot better than their backcourt defenders, in my opinion. Dame and I guess I don't know. Dame's still not a good defender, in my opinion. All right, let's get over to the next game. Cat has never not hit 2 threes against the Bucks, Jacob says. Okay. Kurt says, I love the under 227.5. Yeah, under is my favorite look as well. I do think we get primetime defense from the Knicks in this spot. Just real quick, one more thing before I go to the next one. Listening to the post-game interviews, that's what they kind of talked about. Josh Hart talked about it. Bridges talked about it. Like them being connected on the defensive end, even when the shots aren't falling, like just trying to control the things that they can control. That's why I think the Bucks defense is the Knicks defense is going to be a lot better in this spot. So yeah, I like under a little bit more than anything else, but don't let me talk you off. Sounds like people like the Knicks in the chat. Hope you guys cash it. I did not play it. I did play this game though. Let's see what the line is here. We got this might still be available too. We got Sacramento and Chicago. This line opened, I think like 2.5 in favor of Sacramento, and they've now moved up to a 4-point favorite. The total was opened about 241 on here, 241.5. It's come down to 238.5. It was at 239.5 last night when I started handicapping it, and I definitely agree with the total coming down here. So we'll go injury report first. We got De'Aaron Fox, who has missed I think the last 2 or 3 games. He is listed as questionable to return in this one. We'll see if he actually plays. He didn't play in the Boston game. And then on the Chicago side, we got Torrey Craig out. We got Pat Williams listed as probable, and Ayo Dosunmu actually upgraded to doubtful. He has not played a game in quite a while, but he could potentially return in this one. Hasn't played since December the 23rd with a strained right calf. So probably not going to play in this one. Typically, you get a doubtful tag, and then you play in the next game because you'll be listed as questionable. But we'll see how that goes. First matchup of the season between these two teams. The Knicks are they've won 4 of the last 5. I'm sorry, I said Knicks. The Kings have won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head matchups with the Chicago Bulls. Sacramento is also playing really good basketball, as most people know. As long as you haven't been living underneath a rock, they've won and covered 5 straight games. Sacramento has won and covered. My notes are messed up. Won and covered 5 straight games, including a 17-point win against Boston 2 nights ago. And that game was without Fox. They were getting 11.5. They were 11.5 point dogs in that spot. Now you got the Bucks up next for them. But Sacramento is probably the hottest team in the NBA right now. Like, this team is kind of cooking if you just look at the last 5 games. So that's what you got going for Sacramento. Pretty not super well rested, but days rest. This is playing really, really good for Doug Christie right now. Chicago coming off a big win themselves. They beat the Washington Wizards by 28 points a couple days ago. And the Bulls just, still Jekyll and Hyde. I think they're 6-4 straight up, 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games, maybe 5-5. Defensively, they've really played a lot better. And then offensively, they've kind of, struggled at times to score the basketball. But the defense, like I said, is playing a little bit better. They are 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. And that last one did go under as well. Between the Washington Wizards by the hook. I think it closed at 243.5. It finished at 243. This is the second straight home game for the Bulls. So I'm looking at Sacramento. They are just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games as a road favorite. This has not necessarily been their role. When they were playing against the Celtics the other day, of course, they were a dog. You got a Bulls team that's 3-0 straight up and against the spread as a home dog in their last 3 games. So the Bulls, spots you typically don't want to fade them in. And they're 7-7 are the Bulls as a home dog this season, both straight up and against the spread as a home dog. I'm looking at the game last night, and the first thing that kind of jumped out to me was the total. I thought it was a tad bit too high. I bet the Chicago Bulls team total specifically under. The number I got was 117.5. Official play for me. Let's see real quick. You can still get 117.5 right now. A lot of books have it. I think I got it at minus 110. It's come down to like minus 118. A lot of this really went into just Sacramento. I think they match up really, really well against the Chicago Bulls, what Chicago likes to do. So, excuse me, I already mentioned the Bulls being 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. But last 5 games, the Kings are averaging just 224 points in those games. Chicago last 5 games, they're averaging just 223 points as well. You do got to worry about pace. Both of these teams like to get out and fly up and down the court. I got Sacramento as the 7th fastest paced team, and the Bulls as the 2nd fastest paced team. Over the last 5 games, Sacramento is 2nd in pace, so they're playing even faster than they have for the full season. And the Bulls are playing at the 4th fastest pace, so they've slowed down just a tad bit over their last 3 games. So I'm looking like a little bit deeper into the matchup. You got a Kings team that's the 3rd best defensive rated team over the last 5 games. They're 8th in opponent effective field goal percentage, number 1 in turnover rate, number 2 in offensive rebound rate, and they're doing a really, really good job of let me change this real quick. The Sacramento Kings are doing a really good job of what Chicago likes to do. So I'm diving deeper last night. Looking at the Bulls' offense has been really good. They're 3rd in points scored per 100 possessions, averaging about 122 points. But the Bulls want to shoot. They want to get out in transition. That's something that they want to do. And they want to shoot a bunch of threes. The Kings, and they want to run a heavy pick and roll. And Sacramento has done a really good job against that as well. So what I wrote in my notes, last 5 games, opponents are shooting just 35% from the 3-point line against the Sacramento Kings. I think it's actually gotten better. But 34.5. So Kings top 10 defensive rated team guarding the 3-point shot, 9th and above the break threes, which is important because Chicago shoots the 10th most threes from above the break. And then I'm looking at the Kings transition defense, which I think should be able to slow down Chicago's offense and limit them to 1 shot in this spot here. I didn't write down all the advanced stuff, but there's a lot to like about Sacramento's defense against the Chicago Bulls. Sacramento is one of the better transition defenses in the NBA. We know Chicago wants to play with pace on the full season. They're 8th in transition frequency. Last 5 games, they've slowed down a little bit to 16th. Sacramento is top 5 in both points allowed and opponent frequency in transition. So I think Chicago struggles to score the basketball in this spot. I think Sacramento, I don't know how well their offense is going to be in this spot. It's been really, really good. Their defensive numbers are a lot better with De'Aaron Fox on the bench, which is crazy. But their defense actually gets better without Fox. So hopefully he doesn't play. That'd be cool with me too. But I do like Sacramento to be able to slow down Chicago based on Chicago wanting to get out and play with pace, based on the pick and roll defense that Sacramento has, which is really, really good. I think Chicago struggles to score here. So I play Chicago specifically in this one under 117.5 on their team total. Didn't really look too much in the player props, but I do think I thought Sacramento was the right side as well. I didn't play the spread though. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. I feel like I talked for too long on this one. I think I went back a little bit too far. Chad says Levine points been a wagon. Real quick, let's go look at Levine points real quick, just because Chad talked about it and I didn't look at any player props in this one. All right, so going back to Outlier really quickly. 7-day free trial link in the description of the video if you want to try it out. This is Zach LaVine up and over his points prop is what Chad is looking at here. So yeah, just off the rip, you can see that he's been cashing. This is points plus assists, 32.5. His points specifically has been cashed. 27.5 is what the number is right now. He has 5 straight games with 31 or more. 6 of his last 7 games, he's had 37 or more. So yeah, I can't talk you off Levine at all. He's up and over 7 of his last 10 games. So yeah, it's been more recent for Levine. Last 20 games, he's cashed 55% of his games. If we look at Levine specifically at home, in his last 5 games, only 7 of 20. So it looks like he's been playing a little bit better on the road. But he does have 3 straight games where he's going up and over the number. If we look at the Sacramento Kings defense against the shooting guard position, you can see that they allowed the 19th most points to the shooting guard position specifically. Looks like LaVine opened at 27.5, got bet down to 26.5, back up to 28.5, and back down to 27.5. So, and then you can see all his numbers as well. I mean, LaVine has been cooking. Last 5 games, he's averaging 35 minutes, shooting 60% from the field, shooting 21 times a game, shooting 42% from the 3-point line, maybe even looking at his threes, and getting to the free throw line about 5.5 times as well. You can see all of that right here. What is his 3-point prop? I know this correlates with his 3-point prop to go over. So he's listed at 3.5. Okay, the books bumped this up to 4. Now you need him to hit 4. He has been going under 4. He's hit 3 in every single game over his last 5. But like I said, he's cooking, and he's going up and over the number. As far as his attempts, he's shooting 42%. So 42% on 6.5 attempts is probably pretty good for recent form. Last 5 games. I don't know. I think the Kings are gonna run him off the 3-point line. I like what the Kings were doing defensively. So, like I said, I played Chicago team total under. Let's go back and get back into what you guys are thinking about it. All right. -4 for the Kings. Kobe White up and over his assist for Brim. Kings Bulls gonna feed families, Fahrenheit says. Domas boards. I don't care the number. So Sabonis just had a 26 rebound game, I think it was, in that last game. Against he should cook today. This is probably what I should have looked a little bit deeper into. I didn't think about Sabonis, specifically on his rebounds. Let's see. Sabonis rebounds are listed at, and I know I'm taking a long time. I'm gonna go through the rest of the comments pretty quickly, but this one kind of makes sense in my opinion. Sabonis rebounds are listed at 15.5. He had 28 against the Celtics, 18 against the Miami Heat the other day. So back-to-back games where he's absolutely crushed it. It makes sense because I think the Kings are going to be able to slow down I think the Kings are going to be able to slow down Chicago. So that should lead to a lot more rebound opportunities. Dude had 39 rebound chances against Boston. Boston also shot like 12% from the 3-point line because once Boston shoot a 3 and they miss it, they just gonna keep chucking them. They ain't no other shot that the Boston Celtics like. So that led to a lot of rebounds in general for Sabonis in that spot. He had 8 offensive rebounds, 20 defensive rebounds in his last game. So yeah, I couldn't talk you off. The Bulls give up the 17th most rebounds to the center position. In the 29th, the second most rebounds to the power forward position. So yeah, Sabonis rebounds, even at 15.5, I think is a pretty good look here for sure. Sabonis played against them at the end of the season last year. On March the 4th, he had 21 rebounds against them. And that game was at home. In Chicago last year, he had 14 rebounds. So I like the Sabonis rebound prop as well, up and over 15.5. No, it's a big number. I'm expecting this to be a defensive game. Expecting the boys to be there though. 15.5 is steep, but I like that a lot, Charles. Let's see. Bonus points plus rebounds for Jacob. Likes it. Fahrenheit says the same thing. Another 20 boards here. Kings -4. Malik says been waiting on this game all season, hoping DeMar shows out for the crowd tonight. I forgot you got DeMar going back to Chicago. DeMar going back to his old stomping grounds. Charles mentions it here as well. Tasha on the opposite side. She said she took Chicago team total over. I'm on the opposite side of that, Tasha. I like the under here, thinking that they can limit them. We'll see how it goes, though. Let's see. Now he says the Kings ready to flex after beating the Celtics, and DeMar is there. Kings are cooking. The Kings are going to cook them, have them on the grill today. LJ says you can definitely go back to Sabonis rebounds. Been killing that over 13.5. So it's up now. This has been bet up. You can't get 13.5 anymore at all, I don't think. Let's see. You may be able to get some 14.5 juice probably. Let's see. Sabonis rebounds. 15.5 plus 105. No 14.5. It's probably open 14.5. And it's been steamed up here to 15.5. So not even a 14.5 available right now. But if you got a better number, you've been cooking. Andrew says Sacramento has been fired. They absolutely have. Tasha says she likes Chicago. Mark says he likes Sacramento. They're flexing. I like Sacramento in this spot as well. I think that they are the right side. But yeah, that's why I play team total, because the defense has been so good. Like I said, third-rated defensive team over the last 5 games. They just held the Celtics to 97 points. The Boston Celtics to 97 points on the road. Yeah, I'm not laying points with the Kings either, but I think that they are the right side. I don't really like betting Chicago games. They do the opposite of what I need them to do. So if I bet Kings, the Bulls will play their greatest game ever. I just took the team total under though. Charles says, you can't tell me the Bulls don't want to beat their big brother coming back to Chicago. No, that's a fact. Bulls are nothing for Chad. Appreciate you, Anthony, for joining as a member. Vucevic over his 9.5 boards from Merle. Levine over his 26.5 points. Okay. Malik says, I would like the Bulls if it was +8 or more, but 4 is not enough for me. Kings -4, DeMar points, and he like Malik Monk assist if De'Aaron Fox is out, which makes a ton of sense as well. You got to wait on that one. Let's see. So Tasha, this right here real quick, just to talk about this. So she says she liked the Chicago team total up and over. Their last 5 games, they're averaging 120. So if you look at Chicago last 5 games, their strength of schedule is actually the 3rd easiest over the last 5 games. We got to remember who the Chicago has been playing. This was something that I looked into last night as well. The Bulls last 5 games have come against the Wizards, the Pacers, they only scored 113. The Spurs, they got to 114. The Knicks, they caught the Knicks in a really bad spot. Remember, the Knicks were on the second leg of a back-to-back after losing against OKC last Saturday, and they did hang 139 on them, but then they got the Wizards here again. So your numbers are always going to be a little inflated when you played the Wizards twice in your last 5 games, and you caught the Knicks in a really, really sleepy spot. Like I said, I'll ride with Sacramento Kings defense here, thinking that they go under the total. Vooch double for Malcolm. LJ likes Sabonis rebounds. He says to 14 and take the Kings to win. Maybe put them in a little parlay here. Sacramento -4. Don't overthink it, Fox 5 says. Vaughn says what up, Vaughn? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Says really like DeRozan going back to Chicago. I like Kobe White 3s as well. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. Yeah, I like that team total under a lot today. I do like it a lot, and it's still available if people want to tell. Next game up, Pacers and Cavs. I bet this one as well. So we got injury report first and foremost. We got Halliburton and Miles Turner off the injury report here. So only person on the injury report is Aaron Nesmith for the Pacers. And then Ty Jerome on the Cleveland Cavaliers is listed as doubtful with an illness. I do think that's a pretty big impact for them. Ty Jerome has been pretty big for them. So listed as doubtful. We'll see if he plays or not. I think he's needed for the second unit. So, excuse me, Donovan Mitchell didn't play in that last game, but he is set to return in this one. He is set to return in this one after they beat the Thunder the other day, and then second leg of a back-to-back they didn't cover. So this is the first meeting between these two teams. Cleveland did win the most 2 recent matchups. It covered both of the spreads, and they do play again. These two teams do play again on Tuesday in Indiana. So maybe you watch. I always say maybe watch the first one, bet the second one, kind of react to what happened in the first one. You got a Pacers team that's been balling right now. Pacers actually got the highest point differential margin in the NBA over the last 5 since the calendar year's changed. They're 7-3 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. They've covered 5 straight, 3 straight unders against the Golden State Warriors, the Chicago Bulls, and the Brooklyn Nets. So defensively, they've been kind of stepping up and playing a little bit better. And then I don't really got to talk too much about Cleveland. I mean, if you're new to betting basketball, maybe you don't know what Cleveland's been doing, but if you've been around, Cleveland's absolutely killing it. This is a big number to lay with Cleveland, though. They beat Toronto by just 6 the other day as 13.5-point favorites on their second leg of a back-to-back. They are 7-3 as well against the spread in their last 10 games, 8-2 to the over. So, conflicting trends for over/under here. With one team playing some pretty good defense, the other team, I wouldn't say not playing pretty good defense. I would just say that, Cavs just want to score the basketball. Full season, this is the best offense versus the 9th best offense. Last 5 games, this is the best offense, Cavs. Second best offense, Indiana. And that's why I like the Pacers here. I did play the Pacers. I got them at plus 9.5. I think I sent out 9.5 last night. I think I got the hook when I sent it out. Let me just double check. It don't really matter. But yeah, I got the 9.5. I think the Pacers keep this game close. I feel like the number was a tad bit disrespectful here. I got 9.5. I know that this moved a little bit. So jumping into it, Indiana, second in scoring. I kind of just talked about this. Second in scoring, right behind the Cavs over the last 5 games. They're also second in effective field goal percentage. The Cavs, 15th in defense. I'm sorry, my fault. Cleveland actually worse than that because Cleveland defense took a big step back against the Toronto Raptors the other day. Cleveland's actually last 5 games, they're actually the fourth worst defense, which that's going to come back down like eventually. But fourth worst defensive rated team over the last 5 games are the Cleveland Cavaliers. Their opponents are shooting. They're bottom 10 in opponent effective field goal percentage, not forcing any turnovers, and they're giving up the 4th most offensive rebounds. You look at Indiana, where I think they're going to have a lot of successes in the mid-range today. Last 5 games for the Pacers, not even for the last 5 games. Last 5 games specifically, though, the Pacers are taking the 4th most mid-range shots. They're second in mid-range accuracy. And that's big because we know the Pacers don't shoot a ton of threes. The reason why I like that so much is because the Cavs' mid-range defense has been lackluster. They're actually the second worst mid-range defense in the NBA. Teams are shooting about 52% from mid-range, and teams are getting to the mid-range very frequently. They're 18th in opponent mid-range frequency as well. I think the Pacers are going to, get out and push pace as well. They're 5th in frequency over the last 5 games, 2nd in points. The Pacers kind of look like the Pacers that we know from last year. Like these numbers, like kind of symbolize that. They're plus. What is this? They're plus 21 in point differential over the last 5 games. So I also put all of those things in my notes. Indiana pushing pace, 4th in transition frequency, 1st in point score via the transition bucket. Cleveland 21st. They were 21st. They're actually 27th now since I updated my numbers in opponent transition defense. Also, Indiana 7th in pick and roll points per 100 possessions allowed. And that's important because Cleveland runs the pick and roll at the 2nd highest frequency, 3rd in points scored via the pick and roll. So I like Pacers here. I thought the 9.5 was too many points. I know that the Cleveland Cavaliers ball out. They're at home. I get all that. I just think the Pacers are playing good enough basketball to keep it within the number. I like Pacers here, plus the 9.5. Put it in my pocket last night. Let's see what you guys think about this one. P says, isn't this an under 238? Under 238? Sacramento playing D on the road regardless of what the Bulls are? I bet under already, Pete. But I took Kings team. I took Bulls team total under. The market pushed this one down. It opened at 241. It's down to 238 now. Cavs money line for Ulrich. Okay. Fox 5, opposite side. He likes the Cavs minus the 9 and over 239. Pacers would get smoked today. So we definitely on the opposite side. I love the Pacers today. As far as the total goes, I do think this is an over game. I'm intrigued by Pacers team total to go up and over. I mentioned the Cavs defense being the 4th worst over the last 5 games. The Pacers having the 2nd best offense. When I looked into this a little bit deeper yesterday, because I know that whenever you want to take the Pacers, you typically want to take them as a dog. You never want to lay a lot of points with the Pacers because defensively they can be pretty bad. They are the 7th best defense over the last 5 games though. So when I was looking into this, I was looking at the Pacers since the start of last season when they were getting 8 points or more. They're 6-4 against the number, so it's a profitable spot for them. They are 7-3 to the over if they're getting 8 points or more. And they've gone up and over the number 6 straight games. 6 straight games. They typically score in this spot, though. Pacers have gone up and over their team total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of their last 6 games when they've been getting 8 points or more. So that says that they're going to try to play fast, in my opinion. May not play as much defense, but that they typically score in this spot. Pacers team total for today is, I couldn't talk anybody off the team total if you don't like playing spreads, but I did take the spread. Pacers team total today is 114.5. You can get on Bet Rivers. 115.5. It looks like everywhere else. And Fanatics got a 114.5 as well. They're averaging 127 points over their last 5 games. So Pacers team total over. I think the full game goes up and over as well. This game will be played super fast, but I think the Pacers keep it within the number. Cavs all day for Michael. Slight lean to the over. Chad says Cavs win margin 1-10 plus 190 is what he bet it at. Watch and observe for Charles. Cavs first half on the Pacers. One Pacer can come on the team tonight. I'm not sure what that means. Same day. First half over for LJ. Says Cavs at home have been cashing the over. Brian says Cleveland 7-3 against the Pacers. Cleveland -8.5. Jared Allen double. Give me Cleveland at the crib. Ray on the opposite side with me says Pacers plus 9.5. Bankroll KB says Pacers plus 9.5. Chad says Pacers have plenty of firepower to keep it close, but can't see him winning in the clutch. Love the 1-10 here. So our bet's kind of lying because I need them to lose by less than 9. You need, we align here for sure, Chad. Cavs money line. That is a ugly price, Michael. I thought this was Indiana money line the way I said it. Pacers can hang with them. I agree. D Bookie likes Pacers plus the points. Hardest game on the card for me, but I'm not fading the Cavs. So Cavs money line, Pacers plus 9 in the parlay here. Pacers plus 9. I hate to see that symbol right there, but do think that it's that symbol. I don't even like using it. High Man says Cavs Pacers over. Total opened at 235, Jacob says. So yeah, under the market pushing it over. I like over. I'm no way I'm betting the under in this game. Do like the Pacers playing a little bit better defense as of late though. What up to my guy? Sai, what up, bro? Holly over is 8.5 assists for Daniel. Mark says he's thinking Cavs first half specifically. Merrill coming in here with some props like Jared Allen over his 13.5 points. Has been a cash cow. Siakam over his 18.5. Pacers can score with any team in the league. That's a fact. Absolutely can. Allen over his 14.5 points for Taylor as well. So 73% of his points are coming in restricted area. 27% of his points as a pick and roll man. Pacers 23rd worst in both spots with 26 plus minutes versus teams 15 for worse versus the restricted area. He is over in 12 of his 17. He's over in 12 of 17, averaging 17.7, almost 17.5 points for Taylor. Likes Jared Allen to go up and over his points here. Okay. Mir says maybe under, Chris. This one would be like a playoff game. I can't take under. Not today's NBA with these. The way that the pace is going between these two teams, man, Cleveland playing fast. I just mentioned Cleveland, bottom 5 defensive rated team over the last 5 games. They're giving up 120 points per 100 possessions. I'm not looking towards under in the Cavs game, especially now with the Pacers on the other side, man. No way possible. No way possible. Darius Garland for Peasy, like someone to hit 3 threes in this spot. And then Brian says over as well. Pacers giving up 116 points defensively lately. What's the number? What's the number? Is that right? So the Pacers defense has been better than the Cavs defense. It's not even close. Pacers are giving up 108 points per 100 possessions in their last 5 games. The Cavs are actually giving up 119. But like I said, both of these are number 1 and number 2 offensive rated teams over the last 5 games. Both teams averaging 127 plus points per 100 possessions over the last 5 games. Only looking towards the over. And if I had to bet it again right now, it would be Pacers team total over. I would take the 115.5. I think that they could score in this spot. All right, Andrew likes the Pacers plus 9 in the over 2, and that's the way I like it as well. Bet Pacers, didn't bet Didn't bet over, but I like over too. Next one we got up, 76ers and the Orlando Magic. This line opened, I want to say Orlando was laying, I know it's come down. Orlando was laying 2.5. It's down to 1.5 now. Total open 207, down to 206.5. It looks like went down to 206, now back up to 206.5. This is kind of a game that I do really want to watch. I want to see what happens in this one. So we'll get into the injury report. We got Drummond listed as out. Embiid is game time decision. Kyle Lowry continues to be out, and KJ Martin continues to be out on the Philly side. On the Orlando side, they will not have Jalen Suggs in this game. Gary Harris remains out as well. KCP is listed as, I think he's listed as probable. Nope, Paolo Banchero is in, and you just really hate to have Jalen Suggs out. Like, I really wanted to get there with Orlando. I want to fade Philly every time I get a chance, but Philly is coming off a pretty poor loss. They lost that last game. Didn't have Embiid, but they had Maxey and PG, and got smoked, man. Got absolutely rolled up and smoked against the short-handed New Orleans Pelicans, who came into town and smoked them in that spot. Philly, for them, this is a one-off road game after 4 straight home games, 3 straight non-covers for the Philadelphia 76ers. They lost, like I said, to the Pelicans in their last game without Zion, and they host OKC next. So you know they're getting smoked in their next game. The Philadelphia 76ers are only 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. You got Orlando, not the most favorable spot for them, because this is a 5th game in 8 nights, but it's also, they haven't had to travel. It's 3rd straight home game for them, and they're coming off back-to-back losses to the Bucks and to the Timberwolves. They look really, really good against the Bucks, man. They jumped out on the Bucks early, and, you know, defensively, the Bucks kind of turned it up late. They end up having a double-digit lead in the 4th quarter, but still only won the game by 3. We know Orlando's a scrappy team. They're going to fight hard all the way to the end. I'm looking at Philly this season. There's a couple things that's conflicting, which is the reason I didn't play this game. You got a Philly team that's just 3-16 straight up and 6-12-1 against the spread as a dog this season. So if Philly not supposed to win, they don't. 3 straight non-covers against Sacramento, Golden State, and Phoenix in this spot. And then the problem, the reason why I'm not going to bet against them is because they're coming off a really poor loss, probably the poorest loss that they've had this season. I like under in that game against the Pelicans the other day, and I said, you know, part of the handicap was even if Philly can't score, because I don't trust their offense, especially without Joel Embiid on the floor, they're going to play really good defense. And they gave up 123 points. So I don't want to fade them, because I know that their defense is a lot better, and that's better in general. If they get Embiid back here, you'll have PG, you'll have PG, Maxey, and Embiid. And the Sixers are plus, they are +6 in point differential with Embiid, Maxey, and PG all on the floor this season in 192 minutes that all 3 of them have played together. So Philly's a lot better than what they showcased in the Pelicans game, in my opinion. Probably gets Embiid back here. It's going to be a tough game. I don't think Orlando, you know, even being shorthanded without Gary Harris and Jalen Suggs and no Franz and no Mo, it still won't be easy for Philly, but I think that this is a little bit of a toss-up game. When I was looking at the total, because I lean Orlando, I was looking at the total. Philly team total is 102.5. Based on Philly, you know, just kind of based on the spot for Philly, they're 4-0 to their team total under as a road dog when the total is below 220. So when Philly is playing these low total games and they're on the road, they typically don't score. They scored 86 points in Orlando earlier this season. Of course, that game didn't have Joel Embiid. I don't think it did. They scored 89 against the Heat in this spot, and they scored 98 against the Clippers in this spot. So Orlando, we know, bottom 5 pace, top 5 rated defensive team at home. Getting Paolo back, you know, he looked really, really good in his first game back against the Bucks the other day. So I kind of lean towards that. But like I said, the Sixers can score. Like, they can score a little bit more than that. I think they're averaging like 108 in the points scored per 100 possessions with their big 3 on the floor. So I stayed off of this one altogether. Really just want to fade Philly, but I think I'm going to stay on the sideline with them, you know, being both teams in a kind of desperation spot, in my opinion. Let's see what you guys think about this one. Orlando money line, top player of the day for 77 figures. He says when healthy, Banchero is the second best player in the East behind Giannis. Ooh, so better than Brunson. Who else in the East? Better than Jordan Poole. It's like, nah, I'm just kidding. Better than Donovan Mitchell. Better than Tatum. I don't know about that 77 figures. That's you must be an Orlando guy. Bankroll says he like Magic money line. Orlando Magic at home smash to the under. Brian says. Let's see. Chad says he got the Sixers here. 76ers roll. Banchero over his points for Kurt. Money making Magic -1.5 and Paolo over his points, rebounds, and assists. Paolo does get a pretty good matchup. Who are they going to put on Paolo? Probably, I would guess PG. You can't put Yabusele on him. I don't feel like Yabusele a tad bit too slow, in my opinion. Okay, I could see. I need to look a little bit deeper into Paolo. Eric says over 206 is my best bet in this one, or maybe Magic to cover. Magic -1.5. Yeah, Charles said Tatum, Cat, Cade, Brunson, and B. Yeah, that's a bold statement. Jacob took Magic on the money line. Brian also likes the Magic on the money line. D Bookie likes the Magic on the money line. John says he did put that Pacers team total in. I like that Pacers team total. I just bet the +9 though. Same day says I'm taking two Orlando. I'm taking 2 Orlando and bet. I'm guessing that's -2 and bet against Paul George. He always cooks me like he know I bet it against him. So yeah, I could see. I'm gonna write down PG. This just kind of triggers a thought. Under on Paul George points. Maybe points plus assists as well. I'll look a little deeper into that. Paul George does not play well when Maxey and Embiid are both on the floor. He's more of a facilitator. Pelicans smoked the Magic, wanted to win the game and play their theme song. Magic is one of the best home teams. That's a fact. Sixers, Chad says, coming off a horrible loss. They need wins badly. The rest advantage, and don't think the Magic can keep up offensively. No idea which team is a bigger mess. I think the Sixers are a bigger mess, though, Mark. At least Orlando continues to play hard, and you know what you're going to get from them. I mentioned Philly being 3-16 against the spread. I mean, this line is I don't know if it's a trap line or not, man. The market likes the Sixers, though. I will say that the market likes the Sixers. They were a +2.5. It's down to +1.5. So money is coming in on Philly. Somebody out there is taking their hard-earned money and betting it on Philly, even though they got smoked against the Pelicans the other day. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Charles says you are what your record says you are, and if that's the case, the Philadelphia 76ers are trash. They're 15-21, Magic 22-18. Embiid is listed as questionable. Kurt, isn't he always? Bataze over his 8.5 boards for Daniel. What up, Christian? Appreciate you for tapping in. Paulo over 22.5 points. Banchero is that guy. Paul George ain't played well since he dunked on Birdman. Malik says. 76ers, Justin Bedham put him in his pocket +107, man. I'd rather watch a lot of other things than to watch the 76ers having money on them. I can't get there. I'll root you on, Justin, because I'm not on the other side. I cannot get there with the 76ers, man. They'll ruin my Sunday, man. I can't quite get there. I'll be on the sideline in this one. Next game up, let's keep it pushing. We got Thunder and the Wizards. This line opened 15.5, went up to 16.5, coming back down to 16, and total open 229, and it's up to 231 now. You got injury report. Oklahoma City will be without Alex Caruso. AJ Mitchell continues to be out. He's going to be out for an extended period of time now. And, of course, no Chet Holmgren. The Washington Wizards have Jess Brogdon listed as out. Marvin Bagley is also out. Sadiq Bey hasn't played in forever. So that's the injury report there. Super quick cap for me here, man. Like, head-to-head, OKC's owned this team. They've won 6 straight overs. So these games have gone over. 5 straight wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder side of things. They do have 1 day's rest after beating the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden the other day. And They play Philly on Tuesday. So they're 9-1 straight up, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. The Washington Wizards are 2-8 straight up, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. They've lost 5 straight games. They've failed to cover 4 of their last 5 games. And when I was looking into this game, I mean, it's a pretty simple game for me. We know if I'm betting on the Wizards, it's typically, especially if they're playing a good defensive team, it's typically a team total under. I think, OKC can come in and stifle this team. They absolutely can. That's the only way that I would be looking at this game, is to take Washington under their team total. You can get a 107.5 on FanDuel right now. That's the play. That is the play. I will say this. Oklahoma City has the hardest strength of schedule in the last 5 games. They just played against the Knicks, Cavs, Celtics, the Knicks, and the Clippers. And then if you could throw in the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Memphis Grizzlies, their last 7 games, and they've won every single one of them except the game against Cleveland. They've covered every single one of those spreads except against Cleveland. So it's pretty simple here. I'm only looking towards OKC. I would lay the points, not taking points with the Wizards, especially without Malcolm Brogdon being out there. They've been a shell of themselves. If you lose by 30, 28 to the Bulls, OKC can beat you by 25. They also just played against a really good defensive team in the Houston Rockets. They lost that game by 22 points. So outside of Philly, they played Philly without Maxey and Paul George and lost that game by 6. They continuously get smoked, man. So OKC, if I had to play it, I would lay the points here with OKC minus the 16. And I would also be looking at the Wizards. The total is going up, but I wouldn't be looking at the Wizards to score points. Under 107.5 is a number that they didn't get to when they played in OKC earlier this season. They got to 105. The last time they played last season, they got to 106. So I'm not looking towards Philly to contribute, the Wizards to contribute to the total in this spot. The other thing I looked at, just from a professionalism standpoint, when you look at, real quick, I'll share this and we'll keep it moving. When I looked at OKC, last night, when they lay these big numbers, they covered the 17.5 at home last time that these two teams played as well. When the Thunder are laying 14 points or more since the beginning of last season, I think they were 8-3 against the number. 9-2 against the spread are the Thunder when they're laying 14 points or more. Going back to last season, they've won every single game. They've covered, like I said, 9 of the 11. The only cover didn't come against the Jazz last season. So this season, as a 14-point favorite or more, they are 2-0. They beat the Pelicans by 18. They beat the Wizards by 18. So they had 2-0 against the spread this season. And both teams went under. Both opponents went under their team total. They held the Pelicans to 88. They held the Wizards to 105. So only ways that I would be looking this Thunder minus the points, and the Wizards team total under 107.5. Think that they still struggle to score. But couldn't talk anybody off passing on this one. Let's see. What are you guys saying about this one? We'll keep it moving. Wizards solo under. I like that look. Just talked about it. Brian says 16.5, too many points, but I will fade the Washington Wizards second half. Thunder turn up the defense. So Washington Wizards team total second half to go under. This is right. This is spot on. I was looking at this specifically. The Wizards have been covering in the first quarter, first half, and then they're getting outscored in the third quarter by about 8-9 points over their last 5 games. So this does make a ton of sense here, Brian. The problem that I have with that is that even though the Wizards have been better in the first quarter, in the first half, the Thunder are like 3-1, I think, against the spread in the first quarter. So they've been dominating first quarters as well. I mean, they come out in the beginning and lock this Wizards team up. It's not like the Wizards been playing against this defense, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. But what you say make a ton of sense. Elric says Kyle Kuzma under 1.5 threes, under 2.5 assists. I couldn't talk you off any kind of unders. Any kind of unders. Justin says backwood this game, like the Thunder under, play the Wizards under, play the Wizards. They know they are better. Wizards first half plus 9.5. Then the fourth quarter, the Thunder blow them out. Either way, I think it's gonna be a 20-point win for the Wizards, for the Thunder here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. OKC minus the 16 for Bobby. Wizards plus 16.5. What up, Helms? Wizards team total under. Auto bet, especially at 107.5, man. 107.5, like the Wizards. It's the worst offense in the NBA versus the best defense in the NBA. We'll see how it goes, man. OKC for Jimmy. OKC 12-3 against the spread, double-digit spreads. They could cover. I mean, they absolutely could cover, man. Kuzma unders for Elric. Marks is out probably live bet for a better line for OKC side. I could not talk you off at all. Not talk you off of that. Taking OKC first half team total over for John. Meros' Hardenstein double-double. And Valanciunas over his 17.5 points plus rebounds are here. Daniel says, love the Wizards first half look. They have been covering. It hasn't necessarily been against the Thunder, though. All right, next game up, we got Pelicans and the Celtics. And we got, 3 more games? So let's try to speed up a little bit. Pelicans and Celtics line open 14 and a half. It's up to 15 since the show has started. Total open 224 and a half. It's up to 229 and a half now. So both of these numbers are not accurate anymore since the beginning of the show. Money has come in on the Celtics. Money has come in on the Celtics team total to go over, which is what's pushing this up and over as well. So we got 15 is the consensus now. And we got 229 and a half. All right. So the Pelicans, we'll get to the injury report first. We got for the Pelicans, I did see Trey Murphy's going to be back, which helps the offense out a lot. I think that lends itself towards an over. DeJounte Murray is listed as questionable. He has been over the last 4 or 5 games, though. Listed as questionable with an elbow and shin injury. And Herb Jones continues to remain out. So you got a fully healthy, Pelicans team for the most part, outside of Brandon Ingram and Herb Jones. They're starting to, get a little healthier. They are coming off that big win against the Philadelphia 76ers in their last game 2 nights ago. But you got the Celtics probably going, and then on the Celtics side of things, nobody on the injury report. They are fully healthy. You got the Celtics probably super fired up in this one, man. They're coming off the loss, of course, to the Sacramento Kings. Zion will return. I forgot to mention that. He did serve that 1-game suspension for being late or whatever he was doing. And you got a 5th game in 7 nights for a 5th game in 8 nights for the Pelicans here. So super, probably a flat spot outside of getting Zion back for this team specifically, and Trey Murphy being back. So maybe it's not as, monumental of a spot because some of their role players have been missing time. Boston has been mediocre. 5-5 straight up, 4-5-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. They lost by 17 points as an 11.5 point home favorite the other day against the Sacramento Kings. That was the first time all season that Boston has actually lost by double digits when they were laying double digits. They've lost by double digits before, but the first time that they've lost by double digits when laying double digits. I looked into that. Last 2 times that happened for Boston, that they were laying double digits and lost by double digits, was last year in the playoffs. Once against Miami and once against Cleveland. They won and covered both of their next games, held both of their opponents under their team total by 9 and 14.5 points. So if you think Boston is going to bounce back in this spot and you like that trend, it says that you probably want to play Boston first half, probably full game as well. This season, Boston has lost by double digits, lost as a double-digit favorite, and been a favorite in the next game of 10 points or more as well. A total of 9 times. They're 7-2 against the spread in the next games. They're winning by an average of 21 points per game. 6 of their 8 wins have actually come by 15 points or more. So I know, Boston's completely Jekyll and Hyde a lot of the times. But them having a full roster, them getting smoked the way that they did against Sacramento, you want to bet on Boston after a win. You don't really want to bet against them after a loss. So I would only be looking towards Boston in this spot. I know 15 is a lot of points to lay. Maybe a Pelicans team total to go under. I think that they're going to struggle to score the basketball. Pelicans also not great defensively, so I can see Boston really getting hot in this game. Pelicans also don't defend the 3-point line well. I can see the Pelicans getting the Celtics getting hot in this game and kind of pushing this one up and over the total. No play for me on this game, but I will be looking towards Boston in the first half specifically. Probably, we know they play their best basketball early, so probably first half. I think you can get like a -8.5 right now is what I was looking at in this spot. I'm looking at real quick New Orleans We know what Boston want to do. They just want to shoot a bunch of threes. The Pelicans' three-point defense actually improved, 22nd on the full season, allowing teams to shoot about 37%. Last 5 games, though, they're actually 8th, holding teams to about 38%. Boston not shooting the three well at all. And it correlates, right? Boston should make the threes, they win the game. They don't make the threes, they lose the game. Full season, they're shooting 37%, which is 13th. Last 5 games, they're shooting just 33%, which is 25th. So Boston three-point shots not going in over the last 5 games. I want to say they shot 27% or something like that against Sacramento the other day. Defensively, they also just haven't been really locked in. Sacramento got pretty much whatever it is that they wanted, dominated the boards as well. Don't think the Pelicans going to be able to dominate the boards like that today, though. So those are my quick thoughts on the game. I did not bet this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking. We'll keep it moving. Malik says random, but you dropping any NFL plays for members? I can, Malik. I cashed yesterday on Justin Herbert up and over his pass attempts. I think I got some action for today. I forgot who played today. But yeah, I got some looks for today in the NFL. I'll shoot some out, Malik. Let's see. Jacob says nothing here, but all I know is the Celtics don't cover big spreads. All for loss, they do, Jacob. All for loss, Celtics cover all kind of spreads, all for loss. Appreciate you, D-Bookie. Boston win, but 14 points is a lot, same day says. Chad says Porzingis first quarter points. He likes him to get 5 here, plus 102 on FanDuel. Play of the day. Thinks that he comes out early and scores the basketball. I can see it. Could definitely see it. Lingowick says Zion dunks on Derek White ball head is a lock. Hey, Derek White, like one of the leading guards in the NBA of blocks, man. Give my guy a little credit, Lingowick. Don't do Derek White like that, man. DJ Fitz says he likes Derek White. Second game back from a little sickness. Should eat today. His number is 13.5, lowest all year, he believes. We talked about like Derek White in the last game. He went out there and was just doing cardio. So I can see Derek White bouncing back in this spot. Want to look into Derek White a little bit more. But he going to get the open looks for sure. And I don't trust the Pelicans' three-point defense. So you said the number is at 13.5. That's down 2 points from 15.5. And I kind of like the matchup for Derek White. I'll look a little deeper, though. Merrill says Zion East today. Likes him to get 22. Celtics minus 14.5. A D-Bookie. With the line going up, taking the Pels plus 15. Somebody pushing this line up, though. Somebody pushing it up. Not saying they did right. Merrill likes Derek White today. Boston off an embarrassing loss. I already gave you guys the numbers off the embarrassing loss. 7-2 against the spread in their next game, winning by an average of 21 points when they've lost as a favorite in their last game. And then they're a favorite of 10 points or more. You don't want to fade them off the loss. We talked about this against the Raptors a couple weeks ago. They beat the Raptors by 54 points. Let's see. Eric says, we know the Celtics can win, but do they care to show up tonight is my fear. He likes Porzingis to get 7 boards. Brian says Celtics early. No, he says Celtics early. Pelicans 24th defense against the 3. Celtics could cover. I think they can cover as well. They can smoke this Pelicans team. I worry about the Pelicans defensively. I really, really do. Let's see. What else should I say about this one? Boston been losing in the second half lately, Tasha says. Celtics are mad later points, Bobby says. Celtics team total under 122 for Lingowick. Would not get there. Vaughn says betting everything I have on the Celtics first half and full game. Don't do everything. Don't do everything. Helm says he likes Messi to go under on his points plus rebounds. He also likes Green Bay and Philly to get up and over 46 in the NFL today. The bookie says Broncos plus the 8.5, Eagles minus 4.5, Commanders plus 3.5. Commanders need to stand up today, man. Go back to Tampa Bay, get the job done. Let's see. What else should I say? Taylor likes Tatum to go up and over his boards. I like this as well. I like this a lot. I'm going to write this one down too. Tatum, I always forget about Tatum boards. Up and over 8.5 boards for Tatum. He says with Porzingis, he is over in 9 of his 12 games. He hit his 3 unders under games are versus teams ranked 13th or better in rebounds allowed. The Pels allowed the 25th most rebounds per 36 minutes with projected lineup. Tatum is averaging almost 12 and a half rebounds. The only thing that scares me here is the blowout. I took Tatum rebounds last time they were a double-digit favorite against the Raptors, and he didn't play the fourth quarter. He finished with 8. So this one, that scares me just a tad bit. I think I'm gonna actually not play Tatum rebounds. That scares me a little bit, Taylor, but I wish you the best of luck, bro. I hope that you cash it. And he could potentially get there. PZ likes Zion as well. Douglas says, dude, Celtics won all 4 quarters. I couldn't talk you off. Not talk you off. Jacob likes Bucks -3. Tasha says, sorry, Commander's not winning today. We'll see, Tasha. We will see. A boy, Jaden Daniels about to go shock the world today down there in Tampa Bay, man. I'm not betting it, though. Vaughn says he likes Tatum's points plus rebounds. Coming off a game where he only scored 15 with 8 rebounds. Think he comes out and is super aggressive today. I could not talk you off of that. I don't even think he scored in the second half. I think Tatum went scoreless in the second half the other day. So it could be a nice bounce back spot, Vaughn, for Tatum here. Celtics don't care about non-conference games, Lingowick says. We'll see. We shall see. I think they care about losing. I don't care who I don't think they care who the next opponent is. They probably want to get that bad taste out of their mouth, which is why I leaned Boston first half minus the 8.5. Did not play it though. Next game up, we got 2 more left. We got we got the Nets and the Jazz. Line 4.5 now, open 3. Is what I had in my notes. The Jazz were 3-point favorites. Now they have 4.5-point favorites, and the total in this one was high. It was like 219.5. It's down to 215 here. Makes a ton of sense with the way Brooklyn's been struggling to score the basketball. So D'Lo is out for the Brooklyn Nets. D'Lo is out. Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, of course. Trenton Watford is out. Ben Simmons is playing. And then you got on the Utah side of things, they can submit their injury report late because they did play in Phoenix last night. Keontae George is, I don't think he played last night. He was ruled out of that game yesterday. 4th straight game for him that he's missed. And then John Collins was also ruled out of that game against Phoenix yesterday as well. That was his 4th straight game as well. So both of those guys could potentially get ruled in. This is an 8 o'clock start time game. Not sure what to do with it at all. You also got Sensabaugh, who I think didn't play yesterday against the Suns. He could potentially return. Jordan Clarkson's been out for a while. I don't think he's going to return. And Johnny Juzang is also listed as game time decision. He did not play in the game yesterday. So a bunch of guys on the injury report here. Not a game that I'm interested in betting. I think the under was the best play. I missed the best of the number. It was at 219. It's down to 215. Totals in the between the two teams are 7-2-1 to the under in the last 10. Utah did go into Brooklyn and beat them 105-99. So that game went well underneath the total. That total was 219 and a half as well. So that game went well underneath the team total. I'm not laying points with Brooklyn. I know with Utah. I know Brooklyn's been absolutely trash. I know Utah has been absolutely covering. But this is the second leg of a back-to-back. 3rd game in 4 nights for them. They've lost 3 straight. They've covered 5 in a row, 8 of their last 10 games. But it's a 5th game in 8 nights for the Utah Jazz here. And this will be the first time that they've been a favorite all season. No way I'm playing points with the Utah Jazz. In my opinion, if you really want to get there, I think you take Brooklyn early. I know I talked about it last game against the Denver Nuggets. Did not play it, but Brooklyn has been covering first quarters, even with them being super, short-handed. They've been covering first quarter. So not sure who even wants to win the game. I do think it's one of those tankathon type games. You got the Brooklyn Nets, who jumped out and won way too many games early. They're 13-25 on the season. The Jazz are only 9-28. In my opinion, this is one of the more winnable games for Brooklyn because they won't have too many more winnable games. But like I said, I'm not even sure that they want to win. So not getting there on the spread at all with either team. I think Brooklyn can win the game. One thing I will mention, I was looking into the spot for the Utah Jazz because they are unrested home favorites, laying 4 points or less when this line was at 4. And I was looking into this morning, coming off a 3-game losing streak. So you got an unrested home favorite, laying 4 points or less, coming off a 3-game losing streak. They only cover 44% of the time, over 160 game sample. Says that Brooklyn does have a chance to actually win this game. I think Brooklyn early would be the way that I would play this one, but definitely not making my card. And no player props for me in this game either. Like I said, both of these teams, I don't even think neither team wants to win the game. All right, so that was a quick handicap. We'll get into the last one. Let's see. Jazz defense is atrocious. Helm says take the over here. Okay. Jazz -4.5 with Jordan Clarkson back. I don't know if he's back though. Like, you got to double check that. He did not play yesterday. I haven't seen anything that said that he was going to play today. Maybe I'm missing something, but I haven't seen anything that said Jordan Clarkson was going to play today. Probably hadn't been submitted yet either, just because they got so much time to submit their injury report. They do not need to submit early due to the Utah Jazz. Yeah, we haven't gotten any news today either. Against my commanders, that's what we doing? I won't be on the opposite side, man. Jacob says just played Peyton Pritchard over 10.5 points. He shot the ball terribly. Should be a nice bounce back for Pritchard in this game. I think he was 1 for 7 from the 3-point line in that game the other day. I can see Peyton Pritchard having a big game. I like this look from Jacob here live. Daniel says Nicholas Claxton double. Brooklyn +4.5 for Bryant. They shoot the 3 better, if just a bit. Okay. Jazz money line. Jacob says you got -146. No way. I hope you cash it though. I won't be on the opposite side. D-Bookie likes Jazz -4.5. Mark says I was on the wrong side with the Chargers yesterday, but we're straight today. All right, so we're talking about some football. Walker Kessler double. Couldn't talk anybody off that. I know he's been cashing that line. Brooklyn giving up a bunch of rebounds, so that makes a ton of sense. As long as John Collins doesn't come back, John Collins will go down there and steal some of those rebounds from Walker Kessler. No play for me. Like I said, wanted to get there with under the total already, down to 215 though. Still probably goes under, but I'm not taking it, and I'm not laying points with the Jazz. First time all season that they've been a home favorite. Real quick, let's just look at that real quick. Last time the Jazz were a home favorite. Let's see when that was. Last time the Jazz were a home favorite. They actually 10-4 since the beginning of last season as a home favorite. 9-5 against the spread as well. Last time they were a home favorite though was against the Spurs at the end of last season. March 27th, they lost that game by 7 points, laying 3. They did beat the Wizards. They also beat the Spurs last season. They lost to the Hornets, lost to the Lakers. All games where they were a favorite last season. Not with my money, man, but best of luck if you guys are betting it. All right, last game on the board, we got Hornets and Suns. I did bet this one as well. Looks like I got a little COV. We'll see how that goes. So the Suns did open up as a big favorite, 9.5 points. The lines come down to 7. I do agree with that. I think 9.5 is too many points. I missed the best of the number. It's a terrible spot here for the Philadelphia 70, for the Phoenix Suns. If we're looking at the injury report, the Phoenix Suns, of course, can submit late because they played last night. So second leg of a back-to-back. Royce O'Neal did not play last night, right? I don't think he played. He actually did play and left the game with an ankle injury. I didn't even see that. And then on the opposite side, Trey Mann is listed as out for Charlotte. But Charlotte should be pretty healthy in this spot. So you got a quick revenge spot here for Phoenix, but not the greatest of spots in general. This is a 5th game in 7 nights for the Phoenix Suns. So 3rd straight home game, so no travel. Second leg of back-to-back, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th, and 5th and 7. Typically a spot you don't want to lay a lot of points with. They do got quick revenge. They just lost to the Charlotte Hornets on January 7th, lost that game 115-107 as a 4.5 point road favorite on the second leg of a back-to-back after beating Philly last week. Charlotte had Phoenix had won 7 straight games in the head-to-head matchup before that loss against the Charlotte Hornets last week. I played the total. I played under 224.5, open 225. I got it at 224.5. It's down to 223.5. I still kind of like it there as well. This is the other total that I played. So you got a Charlotte team that's 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games, 8 straight unders for the Hornets. They also coming into this game off 4 days rest. Since they had the last game was postponed due to the wildfires in LA when they were supposed to be playing against the Lakers. For the Phoenix Suns, they've also been an under team. They are, what did I put in my notes? The Suns are, what did I put in my notes? I put it in here somewhere. Oh, 8-0-2 to the under in their last 10 games. So the Suns games have also been going under. The Suns, I couldn't get there on the point spread just because they're 1-6 straight up and 2-5 against the spread when they're playing unrested this season. This has not been a great spot for the Suns. They did completely move Nurkic out of the lineup and put Oso in. I watched him play a little bit last night. He's playing with a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot better on the defensive end, in my opinion. He can move his feet a little bit better than Nurkic. So he's been playing the backup center behind Mason Plumlee. You still got Bradley Beal coming off the bench. I think this is game number 4. Ryan Dunn being inserted into the offensive lineup helps the defense out a ton, in my opinion. And even with Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball back, I think that they still struggle to score the basketball here. This is not a very efficient offense. I think they also could be a tad bit rusty in this spot. Strong lean towards Phoenix early here. I think, I look at teams coming in on 4 days rest, like the Charlotte Hornets are. Could have a little bit of rust. You also got the quick revenge for Phoenix. They probably remember that game losing to Charlotte after owning them for such a long time. When you add that to the fact that Phoenix is playing their 5th game in 7 nights, that to me says that Phoenix early is probably the better spot here than laying the 7 points with them being on the 5th game in 7 nights. So if I had to play it, it would be Phoenix probably first quarter. Charlotte has not been great early in games as well. I mentioned the total for the last game being 225.5. It reached just 219 points. This total is a bit lower. We know teams playing 5th game in 7 nights. Also, adding those two things together, I think that this makes this game an under spot for sure. I mentioned Charlotte going under 8 straight games. Suns going under 8 of their last 10 with 2 pushes, no overs. Phoenix also 2-0 to the under in revenge games this season at home. They went under against the Lakers, went under against the Nuggets in both of those games. So, and I think unders on 5th game in 7 nights are cashing about 66% of the time. So I play under here as well. I think this is more of a defensive style game. Don't trust Charlotte offense, even with LaMelo and Brandon Miller being back, just because they're super inefficient. And it could be a spot where Phoenix kind of runs out of gas, being able to score the basketball as well. So under 224.5 is what I got it at last night when I sent it out to the members. Well, that was this morning, actually. So those are my thoughts on this one. Didn't play any player props. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Get into a quick recap. Douglas says, let me know which book has Ben Simmons over under on his air ball. You gotta hope that he shoots the ball to even get an air ball, Douglas. Dude is allergic to, like shooting the ball towards the rim. Blaze said Nets are just horrible. DMP says I'm gonna take the Jazz here. Brooklyn wants Cooper Flag. A lot of teams want Cooper Flag. Don't count out the Wizards. If they read this comment, they say whoa, pump your brakes. We want them as well. Nah, Tasha, y'all can talk what y'all want about in the chat, man. It did not matter. It does not matter at all. Ray likes under. I like Ray. I'm with you, Ray. Like under. I got 224.5 though. He got the Hornets at +9. Jacob got a +9.5. Even better number since he locked it in last night. Mark likes under here. I like the looks on the under here. Naya says she likes Hornets +7. The Suns are lazy. Maybe a money line. This is a young boys versus old OGs type of game. Grayson Allen been saving the Suns, so over on his points prop. Tasha says she likes under. Brian says Hornet Phoenix on back-to-back. Fade the second half. I can see that. Snowman says Durant gets 7 boards. Plumlee is out. I didn't see Plumlee being out. I don't think he's out, Snowman. Hornets money line for Samuel thinks that they get back-to-back wins against the Suns. I don't think so. Hornets team total over, so opposite of what I'm thinking. Joe says on the first half under 115. If I like full game, I like first half as well. And it is dropping. It's down to 223.5 right now. So yeah, total is dropping. Not a lot of COV. I would still take it. Let's see. Appreciate you, RR. Charles says, I'm with you on that first quarter, Chris. Yeah, it just feels like rust from Charlotte, Phoenix quick revenge, potentially run out of gas. Like all of that to me thinks Phoenix first quarter. They also came out really, really hot in the first quarter yesterday against the Utah Jazz as well. I know it's a different opponent, but they came out hot. And now you got Bradley Beal in the closing lineup as well. In that he finishes the first quarter. I like Suns early. Didn't bet it though, but I do lean towards Suns first quarter. Let's see what that number is. Let's see. Give me the Suns to cover, revenge spot, and Booker over his points is a good look, DMP says. Bonds is probably going back to KD. Last 12 games, he's been a cash cow and coming off a loss the last time that they played Charlotte. Likes him a lot tonight. Okay. Mark says Book and KD, only guys doing anything in Phoenix. Don't forget about my guy Bill, Mark. Bill doing a little something. Malik says Booker been balling in the first quarter. I don't think the line is available yet, though. Yeah, Booker killed Utah. Booker owns Utah. That was something I should have. I talked about it yesterday, how he was in a good spot, but I thought that was because Kevin Durant didn't play in the first game that they played in Utah. Devin Booker has three 30-point games against them this season. So he has killed them this season for sure. Brian says that over-under could get pushed up. First quarter live betting to get a better number. We'll see how it starts off. Phoenix first quarter is -1.5 for BetMGM, so you just need them to be winning by a bucket. That may be something that I don't think I'm gonna look a little deeper into. I'll just potentially add that. Maybe I'll add that because I do like Phoenix early. I do like Phoenix early a lot, and I don't think I need to cap it too much more either. So yeah, that a bunch of looks. Went through the comments. Real quick recap. What I bet is in green. What I lean is in red. Bet Denver -3.5. That number is gone. I think I got a little CLV on most of these plays. Chicago team total is still 117.5. I think. Yeah, Chicago team total still 117.5 -112 on FanDuel, so you can get that. Indy plus the 9.5, I think, is gone. You can get a 9.5 on ESPN bet -115. Nine's popping up everywhere else though, and then Charlotte and Indy under 224. Best number available. I got 224.5 this morning. Best number available is actually going up. 225 is available. So I didn't get the best of the number. 225 is available right now on FanDuel. We'll see how it goes. I like under though. I do like under. 225 is available on a couple books right now. So some discrepancy in the market because I see 223.5 over on ESPN Bet, DraftKings, and BetMGM. But 225 on FanDuel. So get a better number. I would take it at 225, definitely. Also, things that were mentioned on, I'm not going to add these to the short list, but things that were mentioned on the show that I wrote down just from people, in the comment section. We'll just start at the top. We'll start at the bottom, which is what we just talked about. Joe just mentioned that first half under between these two teams. I kind of like that as well. Not sure if I'm going to bet both, but under 115.5. Let's see what the best first half number is real quick. First half total real quick. Phoenix and Charlotte. You can get an under 116 on FanDuel. Under 116 between Charlotte and Phoenix. I like that. I do like that a lot. Other things. Cat over his 2.5 threes. Somebody mentioned that. I didn't write down who mentioned it, but I like Cat over his 2.5 threes. Sabonis to get 16 rebounds today. Could not talk anybody off him getting 20 again. Paul George under his points plus assists with Maxey and Embiid being back if Embiid plays. Derek White over his 13.5 points coming off the stinker in the illness game in his first game back. Now second game back. Don't trust the Pelicans defense. And then Phoenix first quarter. Also not on here, but things that I'm going to look a little bit deeper into, man. I hope the show was helpful for you guys. Best of luck on all your action for today. All the resources that I use are in the description of the video, but you can see them on the screen here as well. Use referral code jaXon. It'll get you 50% off whatever tier you sign up for. Moneyballer, 50% link over there as well, using code ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's, 2 N's. And there is a 7-day free link, 7-day free trial link to Outlier if you're looking into, handicapping player props or size and totals as well. And then, as always, OddsJam, 20% off the sportsbook screen page where I can get the best odds immediately without having to go through all the sportsbooks. So check these out, man. Best of luck. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy NFL as well. I'm going to look into my notes. I'm not going to share it on the show because I'm already talking for too long, but I do got some NFL player props that maybe I'll send out to the members as well. But cashing the player props over on the NFL side during the prop cast with my guy Muno. So best of luck on all your action today, man. Stay warm and enjoy the sports, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow back early in the morning to talk Monday NBA. I'm out.